Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Menino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, everybody. It's Michael Menino, and welcome to Driven, Unscripted Success podcast. Today on the podcast, we're interviewing professionals who share their experience with you, the audience, and how they got to where they're at today. Zooming from the beautiful island of Miami, Florida, we got Javier. How you doing, young man?
I'm doing great. Grateful to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for being on the show. Really do appreciate it. Love how you share the insights of what you've been doing. We've been talking about what you're doing. You're a web consultant, and we were talking off camera a little bit about AI. First off, tell everybody where you're at, how you got to where you're at today.
Let's see. I actually came to the US to do my higher education, so I was able to go to Miami-Dade College and FIU to study engineering.
Nice.
I had the chance to come over and do that here through my parents, so that was great. So I took full advantage, and after I finished my career, I was part of different professional organizations that help students to find their first opportunity after graduation. So one of them is called SHEP. And I had, thankfully, some internships at the universities. I was working in technology or IT or engineering department. But once I landed that opportunity, it took me into Silicon Valley. And that helped me a great deal because I was able to get exposed to not only the ecosystem of opportunities and technology and the world of startups, but also led me to span my horizons in terms of there's a world beyond just engineering and customer experience. And so ended up joining different opportunities from startups to large corporations and then in consulting.
Nice. And where'd you come from?
So I came from Caracas, Venezuela.
Okay.
I moved here in the year 2000. And once I finished, school, I have a couple of internships. So I took my time to actually finish my degree between Miami-Dade College and FIU, and that actually helped me to build also some connections through this organization that I mentioned, SHEP. And from there, I also gained some great friendships, and that leveraged into some really great connections that led me to my first opportunity. And that landed me in Google, and I was there in Mountain View in their headquarters for a couple of years in the year 2000.
Nice. How was Google to work with?
It was very, at first it was impressive, and I was shocked, but then also humbled because I am really working here. And then the next opportunity came through to work with specific products that are, they're basically on stealth mode or beta. That's actually something that I was not aware of. But the amount of opportunity of not only career, but also meeting not only smart, but interesting people that really want to use technology for good. It was actually pretty exciting and fascinating.
Nice. So I'm glad you had a great American experience. There's a lot of competition in what you do. What sets you apart? What comes easy to you? What comes challenging to other people?
Let's see. Once I always been curious. Computers was the one thing that caught my attention when I was in school and high school and college. And so I also wanted to learn how to build communication devices. But the part that I was also in music, I'm a big fan of different types of music. I'm very eclectic in terms of tastes. And one thing that I wanted to do is be able to work on technology that can build it. So great. And that curiosity taught me, to learn more about computers, how you can use them to help other people, to be more efficient with their time or save them time by using different type of computer devices. And then I think that curiosity led me to be also understanding of different perspectives of how can you use a tool to build a computer, or then how to use a software to make a process much more efficient, and not only help you but the people you work with be more productive. So that curiosity kind of helped me propel to understand, okay, if I can learn these two things from this other person and the other team, then I can help them to me and my team to be much better at what we do. And that curiosity kind of helped me on propelling to different ways, not only my career but also as I grew into different roles. Like after Google, I went to a startup, for example, and while I was very happy about being there, there was opportunities to actually grow in Silicon Valley. So that's also part of the experience of you building a career. You need to be open to the opportunities where you can actually continue to grow.
Agreed. Absolutely. 100%. So, AI has been the big push, the big disruptor. How has that affected you, and what do you think of AI?
Well, let's see. I learned of AI, let's say in 2005. Actually, I learned about AI, what it can do, or NLP, so just neural language processing tools, back in was in college, and this is just full on research that at least in FIU is they had a lab for that. So I knew AI existed. It's just that had a different term for it. Now the point of use, the purpose of it, and how it is using now, it is very different. For example, in 2015, there were already companies, not only Google, Facebook, which is now Meta, they already have different learning models that they were playing internally. And in Silicon Valley, it was pretty well known. It's like, okay, we're using this to do forecasting, whether it's for specific industry, or healthcare, or finances, life sciences, etc. So, to me, it's not strange that AI is here. The I think what is impressive right now about AI is two things: the way that you can now apply it, okay,
Mhm.
and the way is how it's become very accessible. As in, if you're in technology, if you use it once a day, that's something that you wouldn't think about it 10 years ago. Not even 5 years after the pandemic, not even 5 years. I'll tell you, that's pretty straightforward. That's what I'm thinking, because I knew it would come to be available to us probably in another 5 years, but the way it actually has grown after companies like OpenAI, and obviously the big tech companies like Microsoft, Google, etc., they have the investments on it, how to use it, and how to actually use it internally, and how to use it for some of their customers. All they do is simply execute on how to integrate some of those tools that they already have and make it accessible to the public. And I think that's the part that is impressive, because now it's built some in a way that is in a way practical, and in another way uh, very intuitive on how you can use it.
Well, does it make it easier for like the layman to, because now it's basically voice command, right?
Yes.
Before you need to know how to code to make AI do whatever it needed to do. But now, I mean, with OpenAI and Grok and ChatGPT, anybody with their voice can just, design a web app.
Yeah, that's true. I think when I heard of the option for voice command, I started using it just to play with it, just to test to see how it works, if it's accurate. I mean, the last 10 years I've been focused on software testing as part of my career, and learning about how to test different type of applications. It became kind of ingrained to me, and the part was, okay, how can you test systems effectively? And now, okay, now it's like you have a voice command to actually tell a Gen AI tool or an LLM, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
how to execute a command and find information or build something for you. I would think that will probably happen in another year or so, but the way that actually products and features are being built with AI, it is also a bit mind-blowing. And I think even though some tools are better than others doing it, it's still impressive how quickly everyone who is developing these LLMs have been able to do it in a reliable way.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna put you on the spot now. You made mention some are better than others. So out of the AI tools that are out for the average person, we got Grok, ChatGPT, and now Meta has one, and Google has one. And you worked at Google. Which one do you think is the best one?
See, it depends really on the application that you want to give it to. In terms of, I mean, in terms of research, I prefer uh, Gemini
Gemini.
from Google, Perplexity as well, because it does help you not only find information, it gives some more in-depth information, but they also quote sources immediately. It's you can say that they actually have built on top of search indexes. So that is, in terms of validating information, finding reliable info on the web, it is very helpful. And you have the option to actually validate those things. I think after that, I would put Claude and OpenAI. Claude mostly for the actual opportunity of building things. Like you want to actually create certain things that are applicable to someone to use, or that you want to
A
build an
website or an
application
app
or
or
a
something.
website. Yeah, I think in terms of LLMs, uh, Claude is the top one, I'll say.
Okay.
Gemini is right almost there, I'll say, but because they also have this whole other thing about Google Cloud behind them, so it makes it easier for you to do this. But then OpenAI is definitely catching up because along with Copilot, because they actually started releasing features that will compete with the others. So I think
Yeah.
that's how we'll go. Gemini and Perplexity being the top, at least for me.
What do you think about Grok? That's an interesting one. They have an unhinged mode where the actual AI says the craziest things.
Yes, actually, I play with it. I'm probably the one that I touched the least so far. I do
Okay.
think that it does perform well in similar to OpenAI in providing idea, etc. The hinge mode is really more about like
Entertainment.
raise entertainment part, like making it as human as possible, and you really have a closer interaction. I think at least my first impression is that. But I would love to say more because but I haven't really played with more than a handful
Yeah,
of
you
days.
haven't played with it that much. Yeah, that's understandable. Well, thanks for the honest opinions. That's really nice, and that's what's nice with podcasts. People can obviously always delegate themselves what they're looking for, but it's nice to have a professional have an opinion. So,
Thanks.
Javier, do me a favor. Tell us one of the biggest challenges you've had in your career, and how did you hurdle it? How did you get over it?
Let's see. How's challenges? I think um, choosing between there's probably say two on those. One is choosing between staying in a corporate environment and going through startup one is one of the main ones. I'll say that's probably the top
Scary,
one.
isn't it?
Scary because then it's like you're betting. You are betting on yourself and betting on the
Betting on
company
yourself.
that is hiring you to do a job, and then with the promise of not only going um, to have an exit or being acquired or growth and become public, but also betting on yourself is like, are you really up to the task that they are giving you a chance on? And I think that was probably the one of the top, for me, one of the top two events. And because in startups, you have to wear different hats, you need to adapt. And it is very important to in this. It goes back to our previous point about how do you grow in your career being in a place like Google, where innovation is just like you're going in innovation as well, specifically with a different company setting that maybe you can compare it to, let's say, Google when it started. It's like you're really betting on how well you're gonna do and execute your tasks to like see where it leads you. And in
Mm-hmm.
my case, going into being part of a startup, and then like the last one I was part of was called BlazeMeter, and it got acquired in the end by a larger corporation, and then that corporation got acquired by an even bigger one. And so that's sort of opportunities, like you're betting yourself and you're betting on like this other company is gonna do well. And in this case, to me at least, it delivered, and I'm grateful for that. I think that's one of them. I'll say. I ended up working with Broadcom and then Perfus as one of their consultants, and that's actually very interesting to understand, like how does the world of startups, acquisitions, corporations work. Being in Silicon Valley helped tremendously to learn that. And
Mm-hmm.
to the other point, or the other turn on in my career is I really become a consultant, going on my own. I
Mm-hmm.
actually has been which is what I did after I started after after that reseller company being acquired by the same corporation. So like apparently they were doing well, but then they wanted to be people. They wanted people to be. They wanted to start fresh with new people. So like, okay, I'll go in by myself and just become a reseller for them, or what is it, a vendor. And that way,
Gotcha.
and because I had some of the clients that just keep coming to me for consulting, like I might as well still do consulting. I think that's the other part of my career. It's like, oh, I need to rely on myself to do all this work, organize myself to create projects and make proposals. So I think that's the part that I figure, okay, this is not that difficult if I organize myself to do this. And that it paid off definitely for a few years. I cannot complain. It gave me a chance to be not only more self-reliable, but a bit more focused on different things for business, and understand the relationships are key to any business. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like whatever I picked up from being in Silicon Valley and being part of startups and being on corporate is like you having really strong relationships take you the long way, and be knowledgeable is like, and be humble. Like there are things that you are capable of doing as a consultant, even if you have one or two people under you. But knowing is like, okay, when is a project beyond my capabilities, then okay, I can help you here. But if you want to go from, I don't know, from A to B, I can, maybe A to C, I can help you. From D and on.
And on,
Talk to
you
my
might have to hire
partner.
somebody else.
I have a
Right.
partner. They can definitely help you. They are wonderful. I work with them, and that's the power of relationships. I think that's what really makes this other turning point on my career. And
Good partners.
the new one, since you brought AI, is actually adopting AI.
Yeah.
I think adopting AI and finding out how to make how to make it more efficient, or help you, let it help you to be more efficient with your time. That's the other part. I think is now it's becoming that third turning point.
Yep. I agree. Sounds like things are going pretty well for you. And thinking about the future, have you ever, or how would you create passive income? Making money without having so much effort into it.
Let's see. I think right now it's probably the most challenging time, because between learning, adopting, uh, um, adopting the AI into the way you operate, it helps to understand, how is that helps to you as a career, but also in your life. Uh, the part I think that in terms of how to help me to create passive income, There are multiple ways, honestly. Other people are relying on creating your own brand and through that get opportunities, whether it's sponsoring, whether it's collaborating. And I think that's become very relevant. Um, One of the biggest personalities right now in terms of branding and creation is Gary.
Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, he's
I know Gary.
man, he's amazing, and he stresses it out, and he stresses out the fact that you leverage whatever knowledge you have and stay consistent to it. And that's something that I was like skeptic about it for a while, and it's like, okay, now I have a colleague and with this consulting that is all into it and then is already doing it. It's like, all right, so let's do a plan for both of us. So I think
There
that's
you go.
one way to help build passive income. And now the part that you have that can help you with that is AI, because now if you need to do it in more than one language, you can create the content and have AI to do it for you in more than one language and have an impact, have a larger impact that way. Yeah, and the other part I think that is you can leverage the tools you can leverage to more passive income. I think investing have a difference, a variety of investment options. If you have the chance to do so,
Hmm.
it goes a long
Hmm.
way. I have
Yep,
friends.
diversify. We call it diversifying. Having
Yeah,
more than
you
one
definitely need to
income stream.
diversify. It
Agreed.
is super important, no matter if you are a beginner or you're like on the subject of investing. Like I learned from being in Silicon Valley, and all I did was ask to like two, three people, "What do you do for investing?" And they will go, oh, one would be real estate, one would be like ETFs on stock market, one would be just stock and look at trends. And I was like, yeah, what's more reliable than that? And then okay, then it will take me to YouTube channels or personalities to do investing, Warren Buffett or Ray Dalio, whoever you want to go with. And it's like, okay, learn and reading and like apply some of those things. I would say one that helped a lot very recently was Ramit Sethi. He's also very good in terms of how to invest not only your time or your money to create passive income. I would strongly recommend. And my friend Hugo, which I mentioned earlier to you from this separate podcast, he and I kind of started talking about how to invest, how to diversify, and he was also following him, and so we started like making this interactions like how to do this, how to diversify, and that helps. Like even if, because it compounds, even if you start very little, it does help you to create that passive income that you need.
That you should need. Awesome. Hey, listen, wrapping up the interview. Appreciate your time and wondering what do you got exciting planned for the next 6 to 12 months?
Let's see. Right now, there's a couple things. One of them, I'm actually helping build a startup. It's semi stealth mode, which is focused on using observability and AI to predict different types of anomalies and different transactions. This will help different operation teams and corporations to prevent anything that is a risky transaction and it can affect them, and tell them how much they'll be liable, and turn that into a reward or actual investment of that issue. That they can fix it, they can actually use that money to other resources. You create new features or hire somebody else to do the things that they need to continue growing and make more money. That's one thing. The other one I think is I will be working in AI adoption program. I actually want to help people to understand how to use AI properly. I
There you
was
go.
yeah, I was fortunate to be selected to be part of one of the boot camps in the Miami-Dade College. They have an AI center that has had millions of investment and have their own programs now for their students, and some of them are free to the community in Miami, which is amazing. I myself am completing one of those certifications, and I've got to meet their executive directors and partake also in several of the community events. So it's going to, based on that, I'm like, they're already trying to help the community to adopt AI, not only corporations, but I feel that I'm going to focus on that as well. Actually, I already created a program. I'm about to launch it in a week to help people who are interested in learning AI from a very basic to intermediate level, how they can leverage it for the business and for their life too.
Well, let me know when that pops out, because I want to see it. Hey, listen, Javier, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, thanks a lot for the podcast. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to me. I'm available there. I usually check it. I've checked it the first thing in the morning. Like, not even social networks. Like this social networks, I see them at the end of the night, or the end of the day if I can. This maybe at lunch, but no, LinkedIn is the best way to get to me. And if that's not possible, you can reach out to me on my phone, which is, if you are connected with me on LinkedIn, you'll be able to have access to it too.
Sounds good. Hey, listen, thanks a lot for the podcast. And for everybody else, we're going to say goodbye to Javier. He's a wealth of knowledge on AI. For everybody else, we're going to say goodbye. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification button on the bottom. Javier, listen, thanks a lot for everything. And if you need to talk to him, I would highly recommend his consultant would probably be exponential for everybody. Thank you, Javier.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.